Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Living in the Good Space. I am your host, Annette Johnson, the Fly Coach. And I decided that for Mother's Day, I wanted to do a special show. I feel like my whole life, like the mother-daughter relationship has been something that I've been kind of, trying to manage and, have a better relationship with my mom and, make peace with some of the kind of things or struggles from the past. And so I wanted to do something special with my talk show for Mother's Day, something that is, organic and unscripted and, not really planned for, so to speak. And so I asked two of my most favorite people on the planet if they would take this ride with me and have this conversation about the mother-daughter relationship. So this is a special Mother's Day show that I'm offering to my listeners, especially those that are mothers and daughters. And I hope that something from this conversation will inspire you to just kind of keep working at that mother-daughter relationship. It evolves and it changes as we change as women. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome to the show like I said, two of my most favorite people on the planet, my daughters, Tyler Johnson and Jessica Johnson. Hey!
Hey.
I've been like so giddy and excited to do this and nervous at the same time. I have no idea what this conversation is going to be or what it's going to evolve into, how it's going to start, how it's going to stop. But that's what has me like so excited about this because like I said, I just think the mother-daughter relationship is so special and sometimes can be so complicated and challenging, but beautiful and rewarding all at the same time. So thank you guys for doing this with me. You are always so supportive of my ideas and my crazy kind of schemes and always willing to support me and cheer me on and at times jump in there with me. So thank you and welcome to Living in the Good Space. How are you?
Good. How are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm a little nervous because, one of you makes me a little more nervous than the other. Having this unscripted conversation, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So I wanted to start, first of all, I want to just say I'm incredibly proud of the both of you. And I know this kind of can sound a little hokey, but it really comes from the bottom of my heart in a place of sincerity. There's nothing that has excited me more in my life than being your mom. Like I've just been, from the day I found out I was pregnant with the both of you, I've just been giddy and excited and looking forward to what that relationship was going to be, what it was going to look like, what it was going to evolve into. And so I consider this to be one of the greatest journeys in my life. And I consider the two of you to be my greatest gifts from above. So I want to start the conversation by kind of going back, starting from the beginning. So think about when you were little girls. I want to know, like, what do you have any I don't want to say like favorite memories, but are there any defining moments for you going back to your early childhood that kind of shaped your impression of what our mother-daughter relationship was going to be like? Like, was there anything where you kind of stopped and was like, oh, this is my mama. This is who I have as a mama.
I guess I just want to know, what am I allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say?
Listen, I said this was going to be unscripted and it was going to be organic and transparent. So I would just say share and love.
I mean, as a kid, no, because when I look back over my childhood, I kind of feel like I had everything. I didn't know that I needed anything or that, we were in need of something or that we struggled. Like those things, I didn't begin to reflect or acknowledge those things until I started to have conversations a little bit older with other people about like their upbringings and their experiences, which opened my eyes, I guess, to the fact that, you know, there were things that were maybe rough in our experience, but you and dad, and I know this is a Mother's Day thing, so more so you always made sure we didn't feel like we were missing anything. You know, I kind of feel like it was perfect.
So Tyler, you guys are 5 years apart. So you got to, you had this 5 year kind of stretch of where you got to kind of watch, you know, a space that you were going to be coming into, because Jessica's the oldest. So she went through like kind of all the first milestones, right? And so you got to watch that. Was there anything that stuck out with you in terms of, you know?
No, not really. I feel like, you know, everything was pretty smooth.
Pretty smooth.
Yeah.
I don't remember any, like, I have memories, but nothing like negative, I would say. Like, not that you're asking that it's anything negative, but you know, like the memories that I have is just family fun, family vacations, like us just spending quality time and enjoying each other.
Honestly,
Well,
I feel like, go
it's one
ahead.
thing I wanted to
Yeah.
say though. I feel like I took a lot of the hits first. You know, for the road to be, I guess, smoother for Tyler.
So you paved the road for Tyler to have her
Well, no,
smoothness.
I don't want to say I paved the road. I'm just saying that you know, our roads were different, obviously, but
Yeah.
I think because we went through some of those things, you were able to kind of let your guards down a little bit more when it came to like socialization and going out and stuff like that. Because obviously, when I was growing up, there wasn't staying a night at other people's houses. There wasn't, you know, going to the lock-ins. You know, I had to beg my friends' moms to be like, can you please call my mom because she said I can't go.
Growing up, I can only remember staying at like 2 or 3 people's houses, and mommy had to talk to the parents before. Is it okay? What time am I dropping them off? What time am I picking them up? So I felt that, you know, the strict part of that, but now I understand why all of the like crazy stuff going on in the world, and you know, you have to know everybody who's in that house, who's going to be there, and you know, all that stuff. So I get it now, but I definitely felt that too.
I kind of get the sense that the both of you kind of felt that that was a little over the top. But I realize now, looking back, because I do a lot of reflection, believe it or not. I mean, I know you're adults now. I have no plans on having any more children, but I still do a lot of reflecting on kind of like some things that maybe I could have done differently, because I feel like the conversation drops off when you have adult children. So when you're expecting and you have toddlers and through grade school and preparing for college, there's like support groups and books, and you know, there's just like all this conversation to help you as a parent. Nobody prepares you from when the child comes back from college. It's just like, it's like, okay, where are my people at? Like, what am I supposed to do with this grown woman who just came back from college? So I do spend time looking back, wondering, like, you know, what are some of the things that I could have done differently? But I realized something, a light bulb went off for me. My childhood experience, my relationship with my mom, the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, the beautiful, really influenced and shaped how I was a mother for the two of you. But honest to God, going through it in real time, I didn't make those connections. It didn't kind of start to come to me until later on. But I wanna talk about, you know, how the relationship has evolved. Like, do you feel as though there was a turning point in our relationship for either the better or the worse? And if so, like what is it?
I think as I became an adult and like, moved out on my own, really started the adult journey, I feel like our relationship switched from parent to friend and parent, still in a respectful way, of course, but you know, we're able to talk about more, we're able to relate in more areas and like just have more open conversations and relaxed
Mhm,
and chill time. Whereas like, when I was a kid, I was a kid. It was like,
mhm.
I'm not one of your little friends kind of thing,
Yeah. But Jessica helped with that. I don't know if you want to talk to that at all, Jessica, but I feel like Jessica helped me to have a better relationship with you because I remember there was a point in time, I don't know if you remember this, Jessica, like when Tyler went to college and I was like, she doesn't talk to me. I don't know what's going on in her life. Like she doesn't share stuff with me. Like I ask her questions and it's like, yes, no, I don't know, maybe. And I remember Jessica saying to me, and I was heartbroken at the time, but I remember her saying to me, that's because you don't listen. And I was like, what? I like I was devastated. I'm like, I don't listen. But I remember her saying, well, it's not that you don't listen, but you don't listen the way Tyler needs you to listen. And she was like giving me pointers on how to like literally shut up. like just let her share with you and she'll let you know when you need to dig deeper or ask more questions or whatever. And I feel like that was a huge turning point for us, Tyler, because I really took that to heart. I don't know if you noticed it, if it was something that you could observe, but I literally shut up. And when you would reach out to me to talk and have conversations, I would like be biting a hole in my jaw because I'd want to ask 50 million questions, but I wouldn't. I would just listen and let you go, clarify here and there. And I feel like that's kind of like how our conversations go. And sometimes I veer off to the left and you'll say, Mom, you're not listening. Would you let me finish? And I'm like, okay. So I'm not totally healed, but I do feel like that's something that I keep front and center. But Jessica, I feel like me and you, we were on like this page and everything was wonderful. And I just felt like you were the most perfect daughter in the world. And then you went away to college. And I just felt like I don't know who she is anymore. I remember when you came home from college, I was like, where's my baby? Like, what did you do with her? And I want her back. Did it feel like that for you? Because I just felt like those were some really rough days when you came back home.
So looking back, I just see me embracing the adult me, which is making my own decisions, not having to consult about what I can do and what I can't do, and being able to, you know, embrace myself because you know, I wasn't the same person that I was when I got packed up and drove down to Stockton University when I came back. College for me was more personal development than educational development. You know, Even though, we grew up, in the hood, as we like to call it, there was still a lot of things that I didn't know and hadn't experienced and, weren't able to identify as well as I'm able to identify it now, having gone through different experiences. And I think our relationship was difficult at that point because I was excited to make my own decisions. And I think you wanted to protect me from experiencing what I needed to experience. And
Yeah.
I think that because, you raised me to be this person who speaks up for herself, person who, if you don't want to do it, don't do it, always, stand your ground no matter what, other people are telling you to do. You do what you know is right. I mean, that whole toolkit that we both were raised with growing up, it was almost like I don't want to say it backfired, but it was like all those things you wanted me to be, I had become, but you just didn't want me to be that with you.
So let's land on that for a minute, because first of all, I think you're absolutely right. How it felt for me was losing control. And I was a parent who was determined to be in control. So there were lots of examples around me of kids gone wild. and just, this sense of like parents not really having control, and I had a fear for that. It was like, I can't live that way. Like, I've got to have, and I also felt as a child like I needed more structure and I needed more control, and I didn't get that. And so that was very important for me, was to have a household that was built on structure. There were clearly people who were in charge, and there was a culture of, okay, this is how things are going to work, and these are the expectations. I was in that zone for so long, I didn't know how to transition out of it as you were transitioning into adulthood. And so when I reflect and look back, I don't, we have this conversation all the time. We don't live with regrets. But if there's one thing that I would do differently, I would trust the very things that I put in you, deposited in you. I would give you a chance to practice them and to get comfortable with them. And I would have been more trusting of you to do that, versus worried that, oh my God, somehow you're going to fail or you're going to make some kind of mistake that you can't recover from. So I think that was a huge, huge lesson for me looking back. Was, you're right. Here you go. You deposit all this stuff into them to be independent, empowered, women who exercise good judgment and make good decisions, but you got to cultivate a space for them to be able to safely do that. So maybe if I use this analogy. So Jessica was the daughter who was like, this is what I'm doing. You were always the daughter, Mom, this is what I'm thinking about doing. What do you think? Or is it okay? You know what I mean? So she was like, I'm doing this because I've made a decision that I'm doing this. And you were like, well, I'm doing this, but I want to make sure it's okay.
Yeah.
So it was trying to manage those two dynamics was very like kind of challenging for me. And so when you went to college, I felt that push back from you, and it was like, oh Lord, I'm just not going to survive this. My baby is pushing back on me now. And you definitely, like, I was proud of you for doing it. And I kind of felt like Jessica was coaching you behind the scenes, but whatever. But I was proud of you for doing that. But it felt really strange, and it felt hard, because I just felt like, wow, like she's really taken a position to be her own person now, and doesn't really need all that extra hand-holding and stuff that she needed before.
I think it's funny because today now, like, I feel like I don't make decisions unless I consult with you. I'm like, okay, so I was thinking about going to the grocery store, and do you think I should make chicken or fish? Even though you're not even coming over to eat. Like, so.
But I show up differently too, because I just listen, and I'm like, so my question would be, well, what do you feel like having?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus, girl, get chicken. It's cheap. It's probably on sale. So let's kind of talk about where we are now, because as a mom, like from the minute I knew I was going to be a mother, I was excited about our relationship and where it would go, but I was also nervous too, because again, a lot of my lived experiences, I didn't want to see repeated in my relationship with my daughters. So I had a lot of fear around that. And I think because of that fear, I tried to overcompensate in a lot of different ways. But I just wanted us to, thinking more longer term, when you came older as adults, I wanted us to have these healthy, balanced relationships. How would you describe where we are now?
So I feel like now, it it has been, and not in a negative way, it has been like a struggle to like let you know that it's okay, if you get what I mean. So I feel like a lot of the times you feel like you don't want to step on any toes, or you don't want to be annoying or bothersome. So I feel like a lot I have been trying to let you know, like, it's okay. You're not getting on my nerves. You can call me and say, hey, you know, I'm in the neighborhood. Can I come by? It's like, okay, mom, I'm making food. Come over for dinner, just to let you know, like, you're always welcome in my home. Like, you're not bothering me. So, and I feel like, you know, a conversation we had before, you said that's because of your childhood too. Like, you know, you felt like, I don't know, like,
There were no boundaries.
yeah, pretty much. So, you know, it's still a work in progress, but I feel like you have been better. And, you know, that's just where we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would piggyback on that and just say that I think that in the phase that we're in now, like, I'm actually looking for the, you know, hey, I'm in the area, you home, instead of like having to extend an invite and say, oh, you know, we're having Easter, or we're having this, or we're having that. Like, I think I'm looking for that, but I think because of your own interpretations and what you felt, I guess, when you were in this space with your mom, you allow that to make you question if it's good or not good for you to do things. And I don't think well, you know, we're both vocal, but I'm the most vocal one. So, I mean, if I felt like you were this, that, or the third, I would say, you know, I always communicate and say it. So I think maybe not listening to the younger AJ saying, you know, don't be Litha,
Yeah.
like, be Litha.
Yeah. Yeah. And so for those of you who are listening, Litha is my mom. No, that we've talked about this. So yeah,
Yeah.
and it's something that I'm still, you know, I try to, I guess in my mind, it's important for me to be respectful of, especially with you being married, to be respectful of your space and your husband's space, even though he says the same thing to me. But that's something that I have to work on. But I mean, I think that's a good point, because I don't think there's ever an end to this. You know what I mean? I feel like the relationship with mom and daughter, my mother will be 88 in June, and I feel like our relationship, as strange as it might seem, is still very much a work in progress. And she's 88. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm just saying, it feels like to me that it's still very much a work in progress. And we have conversations every now and again. Like, I try to affirm for her the things that she instilled in me, the positives, the stuff that she's given me that helped me to be a mom, to help me to be the strong Black woman who's determined, you know. So I try to remind her of the stuff that she has given me. But I'm wondering from you guys, thinking fast forwarding a little bit, is there anything from our experience, a positive that you would want to bring into your motherhood experience, or something that you would want to do differently?
I think just because the times are different, that it's a lot of things that I think I would do differently, but I still feel like the mission and the purpose will be the same, but just how we achieve it will be different. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I know I want to parent with intention, you know, kind of like what, you know, you and dad kind of knew what kind of lifestyle together that you wanted for your children, and what you wanted them to learn, and what you wanted them to be able to do. So I feel like I'm definitely going to bring that into it. But I think what I am going to change is, you know, as we build them up, you know, we're going to allow them to be able to use the toolbox. You know, we're still going to be there. We're still going to be supportive, but, you know, I want to encourage, you know, critical and independent thinking way younger than like we were allowed to. Well, I was allowed to, because I also know that like with the generational differences, sometimes that's seen as like, oh, you being grown, you know, but it's really exercising those skills that, you know, you're being taught.
Right.
You know, if you can't make decisions on your own, you know, you're going to second guess everything. You're going to overthink everything. You're going to feel like you have to check in with people about things when, you know, you are the person that has to live with these choices that you made, not any of the variables that are surrounding you. So I would definitely allow them within reason to make their own choices.
Yeah. But I think that's a good point, though, because times have just changed. Like each generation, the challenges are different, you know? And so I'm a boomer, I'm a baby boomer. So I grew up in that era of you were seen and not heard. Nobody was trying to facilitate a conversation. Nobody was interested in what your perspective was or what your thoughts were. You did what you were told, you didn't talk back, and life would be grand. And then by the time I had you guys, there was a shift. Although I wasn't, I wasn't making the shift probably as fast as I could have. There definitely was a shift, and I recognized that shift. I mean, I remember when you got your first cell phone, Jessica, and it was like, what was it? Minutes, a flip phone that you.
A Nokia phone with the snake game on it.
No, but wait.
And the calls was free after 7. And I used to be like, yo, don't call me until 6:59 because
I remember the long rides to Radio Shack in Ivy Hill, and she's like, I'm not putting any more minutes on this phone. You keep running these minutes out, and I'm putting minutes on this phone every weekend.
She violated all the rules. It was just like, I don't care. I remember at one point, like reading this book about having a contract with your child, and it was like you were in college, and I remember sitting in the dining room and I was like, okay, I just like I can't, like I'm done, like I'm at wit's end here. We're gonna put together this contract. And you were like, oh Lord, like what? You like, it was almost as if you just rejected rules. It was just like the more I tried to drive rules, the more you rejected it, and it was
back
just
door.
like,
Let me out the back door, please.
you were like, I can't with all your rules and stuff. Like, I just can't. But what about you, Tyler? Was there any like thing that you remember?
No, not really. I honestly don't think about kids or having kids right now. So I don't even think about the parenting styles or how.
Hypothetical.
Yeah, but no, I'm just being honest. And but what I would definitely love to take from how you and Daddy parented us is the importance of family time and quality time. Like I really feel like I benefited from that. I really look at other parent children relationships, and I just feel like our relationship was like great. The family vacations, no matter how much y'all sacrificed, didn't have or had, you guys made sure that we had that week in the summer where it was just us and everybody could let their hair down, no school, no work. And we made breakfast in the morning, we listened to music, we did little activities. Like I just feel like that was so important, and I feel really blessed to be able to have experienced that.
So a fond memory, Jessica, what's a fond memory? What's something that you think about that kind of makes you smile, or a favorite, maybe a fond or a favorite memory of yours?
I mean, I have a few probably, but I don't know if you're going to think that these are fine.
It's your memory. It's yours. It's not mine.
But and you're probably not going to believe that I remember this, but you took me to Disney World, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I went down a slide. And
you mean when you jumped in the pool and you couldn't swim? Is that the
right? And I remember your face panicking on the side of the pool. You ain't jump in. Okay?
I can't swim.
But you was screaming on the side of the pool. And the neighbor jumped in, and
Yes,
I think I remember he was a neighbor, right?
yes.
He jumped in and grabbed me, and
And he took you up the slide and brought you down the
brought
slide.
me, yeah. But I wasn't afraid, but I was afraid for you because you looked like you were dying on the side of the pool.
I was dying on the side. I felt like my heart literally stopped beating. So, first of all, I can't swim. I almost drowned at 9. So I put you guys, after that, it was like immediately, like when we came back from vacation, it's like, I'm going to the Y and putting you in swim class.
No, I
Because
remember.
you were like 3, maybe 4 at the
Mhm.
time. This chick jumped in the freaking side of the, it was like we're walking and all of a sudden you hear a splash. And I looked.
I still remember the chlorine like going up my nose, like, and it was like exhilarating. It was just like, ooh,
I was screaming.
I want to jump again.
To the top
and
of
then
my
I
lungs.
just remember you holding my wrist the rest of the
I was
day.
like, if
Get
you
over
as much
here.
as blink, I'm gonna kill you.
But
but you were very daring like that, yeah.
I guess the fondest memory for me, I think, would be, if I could group it all together, it would probably be like the traditions that you like embedded, you know, like seeing Grandma Johnson every summer, the time that we got to spend with Granny intentionally, like, you know, the birthday celebrations. Like, I remember those little ice cream cakes that you used to get, not from Carvel, but what was the other place?
Nastos.
I used to go crazy over those ice cream sandwiches, and you would like invite the kids from Melrose into the backyard because my birthday was always in the summer. You know, I couldn't have school.
Right.
You know, I couldn't have cupcakes come to school and stuff like that because I was born in August. So I would say, you know, I really enjoyed the intention behind all of the milestones, like in our lives, you know, prom, dances, you know, dance school, theater. I mean, like, you really kind of set us up to be like well-rounded. You know, if we played sports, if we didn't like it, it wasn't the end of the world. It was just like, okay, you tried it, you didn't like it, that's fine. But that's what stands out to me, I think. And then, okay, last fondest memory is when Ab proposed at the on my birthday.
Not the deep finesse shout.
I can't tell you how embarrassed I am that picture exists.
Mommy caught the Holy Ghost on the side, okay, while Ab was proposing. Okay.
Can we pull that picture up in here or no?
Please, no.
Okay.
No, there's video and there's photo footage.
The mega knees in a Christian way, okay? Because you was on your knees, okay, in the squat position with the arm up like this, okay? And my friends was like, wait, what's happening? Get the mom. That is hilarious because I mean, and not like making fun of you, but like it was hilarious. Like, I feel like if America's Funniest Home Videos was still happening, like I would have submitted that clip.
It's amazing that I didn't fall because I had heels on.
Thank you.
Amazing that I didn't fall back and my legs were like straight up in the air. But can I just say this? I hope you experience this when you become moms, but for me, when you were the most excited about something, let's say your excitement was on a level 5, mine was on a level 10. Like the genuine excitement that I felt, because I know, like, you and Ab have something that's just so special, and everybody sees it, everybody says that it's just so special, and it just meant the world to me that you were kind of solidifying and formalizing that special relationship that you have. But oh my God, I just wish that the camera would not have would not have been on me. But it was a beautiful moment.
And to add to that, Tyler screamed at
Yes.
that same event. Okay.
I don't scream, I don't talk loud at all, but I had to. Like if I didn't scream,
He screamed like a banshee. Okay.
You can hear it when you go back to the videos.
Yes.
You can
I'm
hear
like,
her screaming.
my gang just showed out that day. Okay. This one screaming, this one dancing on the sideline.
Well, listen, it's a testament to how much people love you and Ab and how excited they were. I don't think there was anybody in that room that night that didn't express that level of emotion and excitement. Everybody was just like on cloud nine um, on that night. What about you, Tyler? Any special memories?
yeah, so I would say just like how supportive you are. So in high school, I tried out for the basketball team, didn't even know if I was going. I just did it. And you made every single game. Unless like, the away game was like super far and you couldn't make it. Like you were running out of your office after work, running up that hill to get to St. Vincent Gym,
Yeah.
make it, even if you could only make the last 2 quarters. Like I just remember you always being there and riding behind the bus to the away games. We looking out the bus, they're like, oh, your mom's following us. So
Oh my God, but those were such fun times for me. Like I literally enjoyed it. I had so much fun. And I really appreciate the fact that I had a career. I worked for a company that allowed me to be able to do that. I had the flexibility to be able to arrange my schedule. If there was a wish, and I could turn back the hands of times, I wish I would have just cultivated a space where the two of you felt supported and safe to be able to define what success and what life in adulthood it was going to look like for you, and not be so prescriptive about what you should and you shouldn't do. So if there's anything that I would do differently, it would be that, because being on this side now, it's like, girl, you didn't have nothing to be afraid of. These girls are smart, they're wise, they know how to make good decisions, they make good judgment, they exercise good judgment, they surround themselves with beautiful people. You both have such an amazing network and circle of friends. I really had nothing to worry about. I really had nothing to fear. So if there was anything that I would have done differently, it would have been to just trust you more and trust the process more. So, all right, I asked this of all my guests, so I got to ask you too. I'll start with you, Jessica. What does living in the good space mean to you?
Living in a good space to me is authentically being me. Embracing and supporting who I am, no matter what room I'm in, no matter what group of people I'm in front of. I think that is a type of freedom that you just can't buy. Being comfortable in your own skin, in the way you look, in the way you talk, in the way you think about things, in the way that you approach things. I think that at 34 years old, this is probably like the best feeling that there really is, because not having to pretend to be someone else or pretending to like something that you don't like. I just don't know how people do it. And it's not a knock to people that have to do it. It's just a tug to say you need to come on this side, because if people, places, and things don't accept you for who you are, they're not for you.
Right.
And I think the sooner people are able to realize that, the sooner they're able to tap into higher heights, higher frequencies, experience things that they never thought they would experience, just because you were able to step out on what and try something else. So that I think is living in the good space for me. And being intentional about how you want to live your life, regardless of thoughts, what society says, what this person says, what that person says, like really just identifying what you want for yourself and going after it unapologetically.
Yeah. What about you, Tyler?
Living in a good space to me means living life for you, how you want to live life, doing what you want to do on the path that you want to go. Yeah, that's just good. And, took all the words out of my mouth, but I think that's what living in a good space is.
Wow. Well, thank you, ladies. Again, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for coming on and having this conversation with me. I couldn't be more proud of you. And this journey of mine, this motherhood journey of mine, has been spectacular. Thanks to you. And I look forward to what comes. What lies ahead. And I just appreciate you always supporting me and cheering me on and encouraging me to live in my good space and to do the things that I want to do. I really appreciate your support.
Anytime.
Thank you for all of the things that you've done to make sure that we, our needs were met, that we could, really be a gift to the world versus, the latter. And, all the sacrifices that you made, as an adult, I see them even though I couldn't see them as a child. So, we appreciate it. We thank you for making those sacrifices. And, I'm really proud that you have built, AJ with, you're always going to have kids, but you've built, and are building what your life now looks like, having 2 adult children. So, we're proud of you and what you're doing to redefine yourself and find, reconnecting with rather the things that I'm sure you probably knew in the blink of an eye before you had kids, right? So we're definitely proud of that. And we hope you keep living in the good space, and we hope you keep finding ways to, explore new things and learn new things. And, happy early Mother's Day.
Happy early Mother's Day, Mom.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Make sure y'all follow her YouTube page. Make sure you follow her on Instagram. Make sure you follow her on Facebook. Get you some goodies to go.
Like, share, and subscribe to her YouTube channel.
Thank you, ladies.
My name is Jessica Johnson-Gale, and I approve that message.
This message.